March 2020, Libya. A retreating soldier runs across a dusty road, desperate to escape the chaos behind him. He doesn't hear it coming. A small quadcopter drone, about the size of a dinner plate, tracks his heat signature, calculates his trajectory, and makes a decision. No human operator, no remote pilot halfway across the world, just algorithms and actuators. The drone dives, detonates, and the soldier is gone. This wasn't science fiction. According to a UN report, this was possibly the first recorded case of a fully autonomous weapon making a kill decision without human intervention. The system? Turkey's STM Kargu-2. And here's what should terrify you. That was 5 years ago. The technology has advanced exponentially since then. Welcome to the era where machines decide who lives and who dies, and most people have no idea it's already happening. This is the kind of technology they don't teach you about, but here on Tech They Don't Teach, we're pulling back the curtain. Before we dive into the nightmare scenarios, we need to understand something crucial. Not all autonomous weapons are created equal. There's a spectrum, and where a system sits on that spectrum determines just how much control we've handed over to machines. At one end, you have human-in-the-loop systems. Think of a Predator drone strike. A pilot in Nevada identifies a target, a commanding officer approves it, and then, and only then, does the weapon fire. The human makes every critical decision. Move along the spectrum, and you hit human on the loop. These systems can identify and track targets independently, but a human can intervene and override. Israel's Iron Dome sits here. It detects incoming rockets, calculates trajectories, and can engage automatically, but operators can still pull the plug. Then we arrive at the deep end, fully autonomous systems. These weapons select, engage, and destroy targets based entirely on programmed parameters. No human confirmation required, no last-second abort option. The machine sees, decides, and kills. And that last category? It's not theoretical, it's deployed right now. So how does a machine actually decide to kill someone? Let's break down the technology that makes this possible, the engineering and AI systems your textbooks definitely aren't covering. First, computer vision and target recognition. Modern autonomous weapons use convolutional neural networks, the same AI architecture that powers facial recognition on your phone. These systems are trained on thousands of images, tanks, vehicles, uniforms, weapon signatures. They learn to distinguish a T-72 tank from a civilian bus, or an armed combatant from a farmer carrying tools. In theory. The reality is messier. These systems work on probability scores. The AI might be 87% confident that heat signature is a hostile soldier. Is 87% enough to authorize lethal force? What about 75%, 60%? Someone programmed a threshold, and that invisible line determines life and death. Next, behavioral analysis algorithms. Advanced systems don't just identify what something is, they analyze what it's doing. Is that person running toward a military position or away from danger? Are they carrying something that matches the profile of a weapon? Machine learning models process movement patterns, compare them to training data, and output a threat assessment. Then comes the kill chain automation. Traditional military doctrine has a kill chain: find, fix, track, target, engage, assess. Autonomous systems compress this timeline from minutes to milliseconds. Sensor fusion combines radar, infrared, visual, and acoustic data. Targeting algorithms calculate optimal engagement angles. Fire control systems execute, all without asking permission. The most sophisticated systems use swarm intelligence. Imagine 50 small drones that communicate with each other, share target data, coordinate attacks, and adapt to countermeasures in real time. Each drone is relatively simple, but the swarm exhibits emergent behavior, making decisions that no individual drone was programmed to make. That's not theoretical either. The US military tested swarm drones in 2017. China demonstrated swarms of 200 plus in 2021. These systems are evolving faster than international law can keep up. Let's talk about what's actually out there, because this isn't some distant future scenario. These are real systems deployed right now, the kind of military tech they definitely don't teach about in school. The Kargu-2 we mentioned earlier, it's a loitering munition, essentially a kamikaze drone with facial recognition. It can operate in full autonomous mode, hunting targets based on programmed profiles. Turkey has exported these to multiple countries. The genie is out of the bottle. South Korea's SGR-A1 sentry guns guard the DMZ. These stationary weapons can detect, track, and, if set to autonomous mode, fire on targets automatically. They use thermal imaging and pattern recognition to distinguish humans from animals, soldiers from civilians. Human operators can take control, but they don't have to. The U.S. Navy's Phaelon CIWS system has protected ships since the 1980s. It's a rapid-fire cannon designed to shoot down incoming missiles. In auto mode, it detects threats, calculates intercept solutions, and fires in the time it takes you to blink. Humans are too slow for this mission. The machine has to decide. Israel's Lavender AI system allegedly analyzes vast amounts of surveillance data to generate target lists. According to reports from former intelligence officers, the system flags individuals as potential targets based on behavioral patterns, communications, and associations. Humans reportedly spent as little as 20 seconds reviewing each target before approval. When you're processing hundreds of targets, that's not meaningful human control. That's rubber stamping AI decisions. Russia's Poseidon underwater drone is designed to carry nuclear payloads and operate autonomously for extended periods. It navigates, evades detection, and can theoretically select targets without real-time human oversight. And then there's Project Maven, Google's controversial work with the Pentagon using AI to analyze drone footage. Thousands of employees protested. Google withdrew, but the project didn't die. It just found other contractors. The military's appetite for AI-assisted targeting is only growing.
Before you think this is purely dystopian, let's be fair. There are genuine arguments in favor of autonomous weapons. Speed. Modern warfare happens faster than human reaction time. Hypersonic missiles travel at Mach 5. Cyber attacks unfold in milliseconds. Against these threats, human in the loop is a liability. You need AI that can respond instantly. Precision. Humans make terrible decisions under stress. We panic, we misidentify targets, we commit war crimes. A well-programmed AI doesn't get angry, doesn't seek revenge, doesn't shoot first and ask questions later. In theory, autonomous systems could be more discriminating than human soldiers. Removing humans from danger. Why risk soldiers' lives when machines can do the job? Drones already keep pilots out of harm's way. Fully autonomous systems take this further. No more sending young people into kill zones. Consistency. An AI applies the same rules every single time. No fatigue, no PTSD affecting judgment, no variance based on who's operating the system that day. These aren't straw man arguments. Military ethicists and strategists genuinely believe autonomous weapons could reduce civilian casualties and make warfare more humane. But that requires perfect technology, and we are nowhere close to perfect. Here's the nightmare scenario that keeps AI safety researchers up at night. Autonomous weapons are only as good as their training data and programming, and both have fatal flaws. Bias in training data. If your AI is trained primarily on images of military-age males from specific ethnic groups, it will be more likely to flag people matching that profile. Facial recognition already has well-documented racial bias. Now add lethal force to that equation. Adversarial attacks. Researchers have shown you can fool image recognition AI with simple tricks, specific patterns on clothing, slight modifications to vehicles. If you can trick a Tesla into thinking a stop sign is a speed limit sign, you can potentially trick a weapon system into attacking the wrong target. The black box problem. Deep learning systems often can't explain their decisions. A neural network might flag someone as a target, but even the engineers who built it can't tell you exactly why. The AI decided is not an acceptable answer when someone is dead. Mission creep. Systems designed for clear military targets inevitably get used in murkier situations. That autonomous sentry gun on the border? What happens when it's deployed for domestic law enforcement? That targeting AI for foreign combatants? What happens when it's used to identify political dissidents? The accountability gap. When an autonomous weapon kills the wrong person, who's responsible? The programmer? The commanding officer who deployed it? The manufacturer? The machine itself? International humanitarian law requires accountability. Autonomous weapons create a legal black hole. And here's the truly terrifying part: the AI arms race. If one nation deploys autonomous weapons effectively, others must follow or accept military disadvantage. This creates pressure to deploy systems before they're ready, to cut corners on safety, to prioritize speed over ethics. We've seen this movie before. Nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, each promised military advantage, each unleashed consequences we're still managing decades later. So what's being done about this? Well, not enough. The campaign to stop killer robots has been pushing for international treaties since 2012. 30 countries support a full ban on autonomous weapons, but the major military powers, not so much. The UN has held meetings on lethal autonomous weapon systems since 2014. Lots of discussion, zero binding agreements. Countries can't even agree on definitions. What counts as meaningful human control? How much autonomy is too much? Meanwhile, international humanitarian law is built on principles written before AI existed. The laws of war require distinction, separating combatants from civilians, proportionality, not using excessive force, and accountability, holding people responsible. Autonomous weapons strain all three principles to breaking point. Some experts proposed a middle ground: regulate, don't ban, require humans for final lethal decisions, mandate AI transparency, establish international certification standards, create strict rules of engagement. But here's the problem: technology moves faster than diplomacy. By the time international law catches up, autonomous weapons will be so embedded in military doctrine that banning them becomes strategically impossible. Let's return to that soldier in Libya, the one killed by an autonomous drone in 2020. We don't know his name. We don't know if he was a legitimate target. We don't know if the AI made the right call. And that's the point. We've created weapons that kill without human judgment, without moral agency, without the weight of taking a life. We've outsourced one of the most profound decisions humans can make, to end another human's life, to algorithms and actuators. The technology exists, it's deployed, it's advancing, and we have maybe a few years, maybe less, to figure out the rules before autonomous weapons become as common as smartphones. Some argue this is inevitable, that warfare has always evolved, that trying to stop military AI is like trying to stop the internet. But inevitability is not the same as acceptable. We banned chemical weapons. We banned biological weapons. We created treaties around nuclear weapons, not because the technology wasn't effective, but because we decided some lines shouldn't be crossed. The question facing us now is simple but profound. Is human judgment in lethal decisions a line worth defending? Or are we willing to live in a world where machines decide who dies? The answer will define what kind of species we are, and we're running out of time to choose. That's it for today's deep dive here on Tech They Don't Teach. If this opened your eyes to technology you never knew existed, hit that subscribe button, because there's a whole world of powerful tech hiding in plain sight, and we're just getting started.